found. Create a free pledge manager for your project.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. What's happening, folks?
Hello, I'm Mike DeLisio. Welcome.
Oh, you guys are so classy. You leave me out here in the middle being a big clown. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to another show. And you guys are both, so smooth. Smooth criminals, both of you.
Nobody calls me that. Well, we better be smooth because it's a day for Kickstarter. Folks, this is a show where we talk about Kickstarter projects that are ending in the next 10 days or so. And
say it, Tom. Just say it. Come on out and say it.
Do it.
There's just not a lot of good projects this week.
Yeah, that was more diplomatic than I expected.
Correct. It's a little light.
Well,
a little light, yes.
Look, first of all, people think sometimes I get, comments from folks saying how negative we are on this show, which is negative. Which is a little reasonable, I suppose, but
sure.
We would be really negative if we looked at every project because it would just be like garbage, 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 garbage. I'm only picking ones I think have some redeeming quality.
Right.
Except this week.
Also, by its nature, we're taking kind of quick looks at these. We're not doing hours and hours of research on each project, so.
Yes, everything we say on here, hopefully people out there are taking with a grain of salt. This is a knee-jerk reaction to a bunch of different things. If we dug into every single one more deeply, maybe we would come away with a different impression. But it would not be a first impression. That's kind of what this is.
Yeah.
If it's not, I'll see myself out.
All right, everyone's saying that I'm super blurry.
Uh-oh.
Why are you so blurry?
I'm the blur, I'm the blur, I'm the blur. I don't know what the deal is here.
Adjust your vertical hold, Tom.
I'm trying, folks. Well, we're going to make myself real small in just a second, and I'll try to figure out what the problem is. Everything looks good on my end, but, well, that's a lie. But let's get started. Just remember, folks, I picked the best I could find. Here we go.
Oh, my goodness. So foreboding.
I know, right? Goodness. I love all of this qualification. All right.
Let's do it. What are we starting with?
All right, we're starting with Bios, Mesofauna, and Galenus. These are from Sierra Madre Games, who makes some of the most complex games in the board game arena, period. Yeah. He doesn't hide that fact, Phil Eklund. His games are full of all kinds of information. He tries to make them as realistic as possible to the point where, like, when what was his game about launching a rocket ship?
High Frontier.
High Frontier. You kind of learned a little bit about how it was to launch a rocket ship from that.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly interested in his games. This is not one of the bad ones I'm talking about, but they are for a very specific group of people. Like when you play through these BIOS games, and from what I understand, you can play through these in order too. Mm-hmm. Like you can start with it all the way at, it's kind of like that. If you remember the game Spore.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
from
much.
Sid Meier's.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do like that the first one here is 30 to 45 minutes per person.
Well, but I'm going to say this. I mean, everything you've said, I think, is absolutely correct. They almost lean into the complexity and the, maybe the science behind the games. But it does look like this BIOS Mesofauna is one that they are trying to make the most entry level of any of them, from what I can tell. They're even saying that children could potentially play it. Now, I don't know. That might be a little bit ambitious.
I'm sorry. Come on now.
Look, sure, that may be stretching it, but I have to say I'm pretty intrigued by the look of that one specifically. Not as much the Galenus or Galenus. That just looks a little dry for my taste. But the BIOS one looks intriguing to me. If it really is something that has a lower barrier to entry, I've played Pax Porphyriana, and it was that one was a brain burner. And I played, I want to say Neanderthal, either Neanderthal or Greenlight. I can't remember which one. And that was a little bit much for my tastes. But I am a little bit intrigued by this BIOS game.
Yeah, these are by no means.
Yeah.
Yeah, these two are by no means, we were doing all the doom and gloom at the beginning. These two, I would say for none of us are by any means what we were talking about. Both of these look robust. They look very well put together. They look interesting, I think, for folks who enjoy this kind of game. I don't think there's any red flags here at all.
Yeah.
I will say this,
they're just heavy. That's all
red
that
flag
is.
to me is the children. Like, gameplay suitable from children to experienced gamers, and I go down here, and age is 14 plus.
Right. Maybe that's a child to that, Tom. Maybe that's what they're calling a child.
Right.
It's like one of those children who comes dressed in a suit. They're like, "Excuse me, father." That child, that's already an adult.
So it's suitable for Sheldon Cooper, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. All right, we have nowhere to go but down.
Let's do it.
Actually, this one's doing well. This is the Librarian's Adventure card game. I'm actually I haven't seen all of the Librarian stuff, but I'm a big fan of I love the concept of the Librarians.
What is the concept?
I'm absolutely ignorant to this intellectual property. I know nothing about it.
You could have just stopped that sentence after the word ignorant, by the way.
Okay. I was very clear to make that a full statement, sir.
No, the Librarians are like a clandestine group of people who their job is to rescue artifacts. And so there's like a little bit of mythology, but they might be going to find a holy grail, or they're kind of like Indiana Jones, but a group of people, and they're storing all this stuff in a library.
So Indiana Jones meets Warehouse 13?
Yes. I like it a lot because it definitely fits in the Indiana Jones humor adventure. And I feel like there's very little of that on TV.
Sounds terrible.
Sure.
That being said, you just have no taste, but you don't like stills being used in a game. So that's probably going to.
I don't just not like them. I have a strong reaction to it. This is very off-putting to me, especially when it's only the silhouette. No, I'm kidding. I know it's a placeholder image. No, this so is not for me. This feels so late to the party. Like, hey, Harry Potter is making money. We got to jump on that. That's what this looks like to me. Like, they looked at that Harry Potter deck building game and thought, what intellectual property have we got lying around that we can slap on a game? Well,
they definitely grab minor intellectual properties. They had Big Trouble in Little China, although they did just get Rambo. That's not a small property.
Yeah, but I don't know if we want to dwell too much on that Rambo.
No, I think we should dwell. Everything Epic, their goal is to throw a ton of stuff in a box. I don't think anyone's going to call their game streamlined, unfortunately.
I did not have a positive experience with the First Blood Rambo game at all. I didn't like it at all.
All right. Raid, a Viking card game. Now, this has some very stark artwork, and I was looking at this artwork trying to figure out how I knew it. And when I went and looked at it and saw that these are the same people who made
looks like Caper.
Balance. That's what they made. Beasts of Balance, yeah.
Beasts of Balance. It has that same style of artwork, but the problem was Beasts of Balance is an okay game at best, but it uses this really awesome technology, which is fun. It's like it's fun how the technology works together with your iPad and things like that. This doesn't have that, and almost looks like a Take That game.
It's exactly what it looks like, yeah.
This was a bit of a roller coaster for me. I looked at the artwork. The first impression of the design is extremely positive for me. I love this look. The clean line work, everything it screams high design beauty to me, okay? And then I looked at, so I went from a very high point. I looked through kind of what the game was like. I walked away from that thinking, great, the game looks good, but this is not a good looking game. What else have these people done? So then I found out that they were, like Tom said, the people who did Beasts of Balance. I don't care about that game, but it is very, very well finalized.
Sure.
They brought a great product to market.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it was a Kickstarter.
It kind of went up for me. You know what I mean? So I'm of two minds about this one. I like the look. I hope it's one that I can sort of unplug my brain maybe and just enjoy a silly Take That kind of You know what I mean? Not judge it.
Yeah,
While I want to go into this one with sort of a more of a blank slate feel instead of going into like a gamer. You know what I mean?
It is, yeah. It's the price is right. I think I'm with you, Z. I think it looks tremendous. It immediately reminded me, for one reason or another, of Caper, the look of it, not the gameplay at all.
Oh, absolutely. But, no, I mean it screams Keymaster.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
Alrighty, well, this is a pretty good start, guys. Pretty good start.
I'm happy. I think it can only go up.
This is weird for me, the B movies, because there already is a set of games called the B movies that Z-Man produced years ago. I don't know who has the rights to those games. And in fact, I thought that's what this first was. It's not. This is a party game from Colossal Games. Colossal, the company, is still trying to establish just what kind of games they do.
Sure.
Board games, I think.
What's interesting is that I do believe, from what I can tell, is they're actually using, must be in the public domain, actual famous B movies. That I actually like. I think that's kind of cool. I like the idea that they're using actual movies that you may have come across in popular culture at one time or another. I like this theme. I even can get along with the look of the game a little bit. It's very, very pulp camp, leans into that. Some of it more than others I think I can deal with. Some of it looks pretty bad. But what I don't really get into is the game just seems like it's very, very rote party game. Maybe there's more to it, but it just doesn't look like it's doing anything new.
It's that
other
same
than the theme.
Make up a funny story and tell everybody, which if you have some people at the table who are good at doing that, they're going to dominate the people who don't. This is good, but only if everybody's on kind of the same playing level. Sure. And you have to also be outspoken and creative. It's great artwork, but the game itself looks really blah and extremely copycatish. Nothing new about the game.
Pretty derivative looking, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I'm right there with you. I like the look, but the game seems a little late to the party. It's derivative.
Yeah.
All right, then we jump to Spindle Wheel. This was 100% funded in under 30 minutes.
Woo, so actually 200% funded.
And a half minutes.
Oh, wait, now are we gonna? Is that a trend now where we're gonna not just announce when we 100% funded, but also when we doubled the money we needed? Please don't start a thing, Spindle Wheel.
I also feel like if your goal is $5,000, you shouldn't be bragging when you were 100% funded.
This is true.
Like, if you can't find a bank to loan you $5,000,
is anybody else remarkably bothered by the spacing in the word Spindle Wheel there?
Go back up.
That is really, really, really making me.
That eye bothering you, buddy?
Oh, I'm getting some very visceral reactions to that.
I don't know why they split
you're such
Spindle
a
Wheel
man
between
after
the L
my
and the
own
E.
heart, Delicio.
Yeah, it's driving me crazy.
Such a man after my own heart. You and I, buddy.
Yeah, I tell you what. Also,
I think they could have used a better background here to show the game off on, and not left the crumbled tissue. Oh, that's a rose in the background.
It does look like a tissue.
It does. Go ahead. Sorry.
Everything about this was pushing me out. I'll be honest. Every card I came across, every piece of artwork, the blocks of text broken up by, completely sort of esoteric and, unspecific images. I was just like, what am I looking at and why am I this far into it? I need to move on. I really felt that way. I was just sort of like, I'm moving on. This is not doing a thing for me, but kind of keeping me at arm's length.
Yeah, and it's just, we've talked in the past, I know you have at least, Z, about not liking rule sets that are too loose, and it looks like there's almost nothing, it's barely a framework from what I can tell. I mean, Tom, you and I recently played that RPG card game, and even that was, you had to do a lot of kind of the work on your end as a player, and it looks like this is even more on that end. Where
this makes that look like as a strict rule set.
Exactly right. Yeah, it feels like this is barely a framework to hang anything on.
All right. Well, now let's go to how to create your first board game, 5th edition. So this is how you can learn if you want to make your own board game, and this is a book. Now, I want to apologize here because I'm going to get a little snarky, and I'm just saying that if I want to learn how to make a great movie, I'm going to want to, maybe go to a class taught by Steven Spielberg or someone like that. I wouldn't go to Joe Blow down the street who didn't even bother to get their movies put into the IMDb. I say this because I've done some search here for both the guy who wrote this book, who is the owner of quote-unquote Gerlach Games and has published games like, what does it say here? En Passant, The Piker, and The Big Day. None of those games I can find on Board Game Geek. I can't find him on Board Game Geek. I can't find his company on Board Game Geek.
Huh.
I feel like I wouldn't go to him about how to make a board game.
Yeah, and I think that's a reasonable thing, Tom, because I think Board Game Geek, really, it is the authority on things like that, right? I think if you're not on Board Game Geek, that is going to be something that people are going to notice. And I think that's a reasonable thing to point out.
100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that example of the IMDb comparison is hitting the nail on the head. You're right. I mean, I saw this stuff. I had the vague impulse of looking him up. I did not, because I figured I didn't even bother. You know what I mean? I already was feeling the way you're feeling, Tom, but I'm glad you did the legwork, because it's ridiculous. I mean, you're right. I suppose if you're reading about creating a board game and you want to read one book like this book and 8 other documents, great, sure, why not, right? Just I wouldn't, as a board game, initiate. I wouldn't put all my eggs in this basket, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Here's the deal, though. I don't think you have to do something to teach it, right? You don't have to be a great film director to teach film directing and so on.
Sure.
But that's his pitch, though. I'm only saying that because he starts off by saying, I'm a game designer and publisher with 5 years of experience creating board games and blah, blah, blah. And that's why he's doing this. Oh, so that's the pitch. He's not saying, I've talked to publishers, I've talked to designers, I've studied board games. If he came from that perspective, I wouldn't get on this horse. But if he's going to use it as his selling point, then I'm going to call him out on it.
Yeah.
That's right. Get out your bullhorn, Tom.
I say this because Mike's writing a book.
Well,
it's a tell-all about Tom.
That's right.
A tell-all. Oh no! All right. Well,
that's right. I've got a new chapter happening right
look at here, folks. But let's take a quick break with Mark. We'll be right back.
This week's Spotlight is brought to you by Ion Games. Explore history and science through unique gaming experiences with Galenis and Bios Mesofauna. In Galenis, you will be taken back in history. You will take on the role of a gifted and promising medicus in Rome in the year 176 CE. Heal the sick in Rome, journey to Lemnos for herbs, join sects that you meet at the thermal baths, patch up gladiators, and prevail in medical competitions against the other players. Patients are easy to find in an unhealthy city where the life expectancy is only 19 years. So, will you be able to save the population? Then, in Bios Mesofauna, it is the Cambrian period with an explosion of complex life forms. These included arthropods, which crawled from the oceans to dominate the terrestrial world as insects, arachnids, and crustaceans. Bios Mesofauna is your gateway into the Bios series, providing an easy rule set and level of gameplay suitable for children to experienced gamers. You can begin with the simple caterpillar game, move on to the intermediate cocoon game, add all the bells and whistles with the butterfly game, and perhaps even combine it with a copy of Bios Megafauna for an epic gaming experience for up to 8 players. For more information on each of these games, please go check out the campaign, which is now live on Kickstarter.
All right, let's now get into some bling bling.
It's the amulet of life. It's the wheel of fortune.
There's a lot of these that are shown on Kickstarter, ways to keep track of your life. This has to be the most ornate one I've seen.
This man, I tell you what, you've got Swarovski crystals in here. You've got I mean, you've got zebra wood. You've got, I mean, I don't know why they didn't just go all in and just make it out of platinum and diamonds. I mean, if you're going to do it, let's do it right, you know?
I know. This is cool looking. It looks cool. It's super gaudy. It's like so not for me, but it is very gaudy. Right. But I got as far as like the price, and then I'm like, wait. It's like $75 for this thing.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem.
No.
Yeah, to me, this isn't something you buy for yourself. To me, this is if you have somebody, a friend or a close person in your life that is really big into RPGs, and especially if they like this aesthetic. I mean, this would be a great gift because it comes in a nice box.
If you buy this when you are now engaged.
Basically, yeah. Well, now, make no mistake.
Play an RPG with me.
Right. You will get down on one knee if you're giving this to somebody. If you don't, you're doing it wrong. And preferably on a jumbotron somewhere once those open back up. But yeah, it's it's an elaborate or extravagant item, but hey, treat yourself.
I guess so.
Sure.
I don't know.
I don't have anything bad about it to say other than the price, and I think it does look a little gaudy. But I do love things that keep track of your life. So
yeah,
if I got one of these, I'd be like, huh.
I don't. I think everything in the world has a price range. Mm-hmm. Like a watch, a nice watch, or any watch will go from like you can get a watch for $5, you can get a watch for $3,000. I think above that, I'm just picking a number by the way, then you're just being an idiot and it's still just a watch. You know what I mean? Like at some point you get to that amount. This can be done with a die very effectively. So no, I'll pay like maybe for something really fancy, I'll pay $20. $75, right. It's just a dial. So no.
I'm just going to put this out here, Z. My watch number is significantly lower than yours, but that's okay.
Well, you know what I mean. Mine too, but I was highballing it.
All right, Usurper, a strategic game of dark factions, and I still think Kickstarter always tells you if you don't have a video, your project will fund less. I really think there's truth to that.
I agree.
That being said, I kind of dig this art style of this one, how it looks.
I do too. I like the look of it. It looks very simple, right? I mean, basically it's put cards out in a 3x3 grid and do scoring, based off of things that are known and one secret unknown card. So it looks like a 20-minute game. To me, there's nothing about this that evokes a strong reaction either way, other than I think the look is really nice. I don't know if there's a lot of game there, but I'd certainly play it.
Right. Yeah, I'm digging this. I think it's a good card frame design. I like the style. Absolutely, doing just the outlines for the most part of all of these figures is a great look.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is one I hope does well, but man, it's not doing well. I mean, it's doing okay. It funded.
Yeah.
And it's also very inexpensive too, though. It's $16.
Right. Yep.
All right, here we go. Trivia Troll.
Oh man.
A strategy party game for people who like trivia but love trolling. If you love trolling, I don't want to play games with you, I think. Well, I guess I do play games with Kenny.
It's true. Kenny loves to troll, but he's not a big trivia fan.
So I'm safe. I don't understand. Like, trivia games are already problematic. If I then have to read the clue backwards, I want to punch myself in the face.
You have to say the clue while gargling water. It's funny.
It's one of those things where it's like, how many iterations of you're going to do something, but wait, I'm going to play a card. Oh, you played that card? No, wait, I got this one. Oh, I got that. It's like, how many times are we going to do this back and forth? I cancel your card. I make you, say something backwards. I make you wear a stupid hat.
In your
trivia,
face,
like
Tom.
you said, trivia. No, I don't know, Tom. Not your hats. I'm certainly not going to be talking about those in chapter 3 of my book about you. But just as we said, trivia games already have usually an inherent weakness. there have been some ways around that, like the Fauna and games like that have taken trivia games and taken some of those issues away. This doesn't. It adds just nonsense on top of it. So.
Yeah, this looks terrible. Absolutely.
I will argue, though, I don't like. Here's this clue card they show you. They have easy, medium, and hard. Mm-hmm. So this is Mario, and the easy is this video game franchise features characters like Luigi, Bowser, and Peach. The hard is this video game franchise, which narrows it down considerably, includes game titles such as tennis, golf, baseball, paper, and Odyssey. I don't consider myself a major video gamer, but I would get it instantly from that clue.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Mario Odyssey, Mario. There is no other games that have paper in them other than Mario Paper.
Mm-hmm. Paper Mario, Tom. You lose.
You're right.
You have to now say it backwards. This game is stupid.
But then look at the medium question. It says this video game franchise developed by Nintendo features 2 Italian plumbers. Again, how's that harder than the first clue?
Only Mario is a plumber. Luigi's profession.
This game starts with an M and ends in Ario.
All right, whatever. We're wasting time. Let's move on.
Crystals.
To this amazing-looking game, Frontline, a 2-player card-based strategy game. Now, we just talked about a 2-player game right over here. Or maybe it's not 2-player. Yeah, 1 to 2.
Yeah, it is.
Where it has a really good look to it. It's not making a lot of money.
I like it.
Really good look. Then we have this one.
Oh, yeah.
It has red and blue.
Yeah.
Ooh, the rules.
Yeah. The entire rule set, I believe. Yeah. This doesn't look great.
And what's interesting is both of these are 2-man companies. The other one was 2 Brothers is a 2-man company. So you can't even use that we're a small thing excuse.
Right.
We just saw 2 men do the other one, and that one looked tremendously better.
Yeah. This is another one where I don't quite understand the bloody backswing on the axe. I know it's a strange thing to get caught up on, but I don't think that's how it works, right? I mean, maybe it does. I don't know. I'm just confused by this image.
Hang on, let me practice here. So maybe he's just left-handed.
I'm left-handed, Tom. Were I
went back and he just cut the guy's head off, but he's preparing for another swing.
I guess, but I got to tell you, he doesn't have a really solid base here. The whole thing is throwing me off. I'm calling shenanigans on this entire thing.
But look at those shoulder muffs.
I would say I can solve this with one word, fellas. Tenet.
Okay.
That's the word. This is going backwards. He has been inverted.
How do you? What's the symbol? Is it like Tenet? I don't forget how you.
I forget what it was. Some kind of
something. Yeah.
All right. Now we have a really, really big project here, Rasguer's Modular Table. So this particular project, I just did a video on it last week. This Rasguer tables, I'm definitely biased towards their tables. I think their tables are amazing. We have 3 of them here at the studio, and this is one of the ones we have here. This one, though, is not one that we are particularly using. We just got it to show off on that video. Mm-hmm. This, I feel, is more geared. They show board games, but it's more geared towards role-playing games.
It's an RPG table. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you, I haven't looked at it as closely as you guys have. I've seen it. I did see it. I haven't really sort of messed with it. I haven't looked at it that closely. I looked at a lot of this stuff here and did see some of the accessories that came in, Tom, but I was kind of blown away by truly how modular this whole thing is. And I could see, really yes, a lot of the accessories are something that an RPG group would appreciate and utilize, definitely. But my goodness, this might be the most modular gaming table I've ever seen.
It definitely is the most I've ever seen.
It's like a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, this thing. You know what I mean? Like you can just sort of like split it and add things and grow pieces and stack pieces, and it's just so modular. I like that part of it a lot. I think that's really neat. If you're someone who knows you're going to be using a table for a nice variety of events, a nice variety of activities, this is a solid table.
Yeah. Also, if you are a fan of magnets, you will never find a table that you'll like more because, man, you get that satisfying magnet click all over the place. Also, Z, I know you said you haven't messed with it much, but if you get a chance, I might recommend laying down upon it and doing a snow angel. Not saying that I've done that on a number of occasions, but it's a very, it's.
What is going on with you?
Why? I'm so confused.
I'm just being silly.
Why?
It's modular. That's all I'm saying.
Well, speaking of silly, let's take a break here so Mike can go do it again, I guess. And Mark's going to talk about some Kickstarters, and we'll be back.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Dice Tower Preview Recap. I'm Mark, and today we only have one game to talk about, so let's get to it. So, our game is Hollywood Producers, and as you'd expect, you are an up-and-coming producer in Hollywood, one of the newbies, but you hope to be making a name for yourself. I'm sure it's fine. It's absolutely fine. There's nothing to worry about. And so, this game is all about creating the best possible movie. You're trying to find the best script, you're trying to find the best talent and director. And of course, you're looking for the synergy between all of these things to get you the most points. And points in this game, there are all kinds of ways to adjust the score levels throughout. And there's even a bit of luck that can be employed, as well as your fellow players can mess with your films. So much, in fact, that you could end up in the negative for cash value on the film, driving your movie into the ground. All kinds of things can happen, but really the goal is to create that synergy, to find the right director with the right script and the right cast. And so in the end, you hope to take your film onto award season, getting the best awards, giving you even more points. So it's that cycle as you move through the different types of movies that you're going to be creating, from low budget to high end and so forth. But there's all kinds of movies here. You can do action and sci-fi and so forth. So if you like the idea of creating films, this might be a game to check out. All right, since this was a short episode, let me tease one thing for you next week. One of the games I'm really looking forward to playing is Burn Cycle from Chip Theory Games. This is going to be a fun one. I'm going to be playing it on Tabletopia or TTS, can't remember, but one of those systems, and then I'll give you my impressions next week. So keep an eye out. We'll have a handful of artwork and things to look at as well. So this is a game I'm very excited to show you. All right, folks, if you want more information about Hollywood Producers, please go check out our full preview. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Yeah, all right, let's jump in. We got a few more projects left. Alien Puppies, a sci-fi card game, banking on the fact that you like the name Alien Puppies.
And
artwork.
Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out soon.
Barkmageddon.
This is I don't know. I the word vomit comes to mind regarding.
For me, it's kind of like they have some artist who drew some cute cyberpunk puppies,
Cute.
right?
Really? Okay.
You're looking at the wrong thing, I think, Tom.
Right.
Go ahead, continue.
And then they decided to design the game.
Design? Nothing about this to me is appealing. It's as a matter of fact, it's actually off-putting. There's something about the depiction of the animals that are actually it's unappealing to me. It's like it makes me want to go away from this project as soon as possible. I know
it's not that bad. No.
Well, I'm telling you, it's a personal thing. I was just getting ready to say, I know that there will be some people that this appeals to, but I'm not one of them. This game just does not look good to me at all.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm with Mike on this one. This screams trying too hard.
All right. Well, let's jump then to Word Hustle, a strategic game of crosswords. This one has a nice cover, and then I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's another word game.
Isn't it like Bananagrams, basically,
Yeah,
sort of?
basically.
It really looks like Bananagrams, and I want to push for it, but I don't know.
I don't know. It looks like you steal people's whole grid at some point. I think.
You're drafting letters to build words. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, but here's my problem with it. They say here, you'll build your crossword grid. You can choose to be thoughtful and casual, or build swiftly and force your opponents to hustle. Which means if you have one person who can think fast and build swiftly, then you can't be thoughtful and casual.
No.
Because I am then forced to hustle.
Oh, you gotta hustle. You gotta work hard for the money.
Hustle, ultimate hustle.
I'm back. All right.
What?
All right. Here is a big Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
Nova
Does
Atis.
it have minis?
Renaissance. Are you? If you watch the video, they're not shy about mentioning that fact.
Yes.
So this is a lion who killed a goat and then stuck the goat on his head, the skull. Meanwhile, his tail's a snake.
No.
Yeah.
Come on now. You know that's a chimera, you monster.
I'm making fun of this, but Z and I really liked their Black Rose game.
Oh, okay.
Is this the same company? Yeah, I like that game a lot.
This is actually not the first time they've done this game. So if you look at the games they've done, they've created 9. So last they have this DEI, which I don't think has been sent out yet.
Okay.
And then they did Dungeonology, which is pretty terrible, actually. Then they did Black Rose Wars. And then if you go back here, look, it's Nova Atis and Nova Atis and Nova Atis. It actually got canceled twice in 2014, 2015. Then it came out. Now it looks like they're redoing it to, get the $600,000.
Well,
okay, that's a little worrisome, but
wow, 6 years ago.
This is I'm of two minds about this one. Also, because these guys are giving you a whole lot of stuff. I mean, this is one of those massive, cool, sort of, well thought out, tons of miniatures that you're going to be drooling all over when you get your hands on them to paint them. I do like that Black Rose game, but also it's just that sort of like, Kickstarter exhaustion of these gigantic games is unavoidable at this point.
It is possible, though. That in the Black Rose, there's miniatures in it, but the miniatures are secondary to the game.
Right.
Man, those are some creepy. Look at these Boogeyman's dolls.
That's what I'm saying. But to me, it's not consistent. You've got Boogeyman's dolls, and then right above it looks like you've got almost like a corgi or something. Like the look at that wolf pet. It's like, oh, what a cute little.
That's a good guy. He's on your team. Those are the good guys.
Adorable.
Okay,
the Boogeyman's dolls are the bad guys. Don't you?
Look at that. Minis.
I do like this. This is a style I like. This kind of not steampunk, but it's close to steampunk.
Surprised you like it, because this is
kind
of dark.
Right.
Are you finally
cute.
going evil, Tom?
Wow. I'm showing it. Hang on. All right, 2 more projects. Here we go. The Escape Box Mysterious Puzzle Adventures. They didn't fool around here. How many do they have? Like 12?
A lot of escaping to do.
There's a lot of escaping that's going to happen, and some of these have some crazy stuff in them. Like I saw the one that has a bunch of planets in there, like a planet. What's that called?
Lost in Space.
Spinning planet, whatever. It has a bunch of planets in it, and
there's a lot going on. A lot going on here. I feel like
I tend to like escape rooms that have physical pieces.
All right. I was gonna say, other than dice, I get the impression that like these are your second favorite projects to kind of talk about. You really like these puzzle things.
Well, you know what though? Like I said, I'm backing very few of them now.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to spend a year. Some of them I have 2 at home. I don't even know where to start on the project.
Right.
These are 2 to 3 hours. These are 2 to 3 hours, so they're not as long. And like I don't know, the fact that it comes with physical, like this one comes with a mask.
Yeah, I mean, it looks impressive as far as the production. The production looks impressive. Obviously, I have no idea how good the puzzles are, but
they're
it's
not
impressive
cheap,
looking.
Though. They're $59 a
cheap
pop.
at all.
And that is a one-time use thing. Now, do they have a get 3 games for 100. Well, it's the same price. Is there even a discount? Oh yeah, it's slight discount. All right.
Yeah, these are not. This is a nice gift, I think, but oof, boy, yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah.
I might back them, but they better be. I don't know if they're good or not, because Z and I have both played good ones and bad ones.
How many of these could you buy for the price of one of Z's extravagant watches? I want to know. That's what we need to figure out before the end of this.
All right, last Kickstarter. Kabuto Sumo board game. This is from
Board Game Tables, right?
Board Game Tables.
Yeah.
And it's Sumo Bugs. You're just trying to knock the other bugs off the top of this. This is not the first board game that has done this exact thing. Queen Games put one out. I just talked about it in Look Back.
Via Appia, right?
Is that John Perkins?
It is indeed.
It is, yeah. Yeah, you're talking about that Via Appia game, right, Tom?
No. Via Appia is more of a... No, there's a kid one with monsters, and you're pushing monsters through little wooden shapes. They fall off. But you're right. Via Appia...
Yeah, you're talking about... there's one from way back in the day called like Night of the Magicians or Magician's Night or whatever that you played. It's this game. It's very similar to this, but there are holes on the board, and you play in the dark, and some of the pieces glow in the dark. It immediately looks way more fascinating than this. But this looks pretty cute. You know, this looks all right. I don't dislike this.
Board Game Tables. Their stuff is good.
It is. Their productions are always really nice. You know, QE has a nice production, and On Tour has a really nice production. I like the art on this. I'm not huge on dexterity games necessarily as a genre, but I will tell you, as stupid as it sounds, I always loved these types of things where you're pushing and trying to knock a certain thing off. That's the reason why I got Via Appia, because it used that as a little mechanic to get particular sizes and types of stones. You're building the Appian way there.
I also love that each of these wrestlers or whatever has their own special unique piece. That's cool.
It is cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I like the look of it a lot.
I like it.
All right, and Quan Chi Mora did the artwork, which doesn't hurt at all.
No.
All right. Before we get to our picks of the week, let's find something new and unusual, folks. Please send me your stuff. This is Cakewalk 3D. It's a handy food extruder for your own 3D printer where you can print 3D food.
What?
Finally.
What?
The search is over.
How is this only making $21,000?
Because you have to blend the food up first, right? And then you're going to shoot out. Have you seen how long it takes to 3D print something, Mike?
Maybe.
Like, I would like you to make me a cookie. Come back in 4 hours.
It's like a slow cooker, Tom. This is just like a very elaborate crock pot.
Well,
That's all this is.
For 3D stuff as much as it is. It's just going to write like a name on your pie with icing or something. I don't know that I want to mix food with my 3D printer.
Especially since isn't resin deadly poison?
Well, you can do. I guess the thing about this is if you get it correct, you could decorate a cake and look professional.
If.
That assumes I did not make the cake.
Right.
But look at this. Read this line here. Convert your leftovers into savory prints. Let's face it, it's not much fun eating leftovers.
Right.
Now you can mash them and use Cakewalk 3D to turn them into savory snacks. A broccoli-based crocodile or parsnip carrot unicorn looks more appetizing for everyone. This sounds like that mom who's like, we're going to eat healthy. But I made it look fun.
I love this.
Convert your beef stew into edible doilies. Yeah, that's great.
Firing up the 3D printer. Oh, no.
I spent all day slaving over my 3D printer. You will eat this.
Exactly.
I think it's actually a clever idea. I'm just hesitant to.
Wait, who's it for? It tells you who it's for, Tom. It tells you who it's for. So let's find out.
It's everyone.
Oh, okay. I'm a weekend tinkerer. It's for me. I'm in.
This is amazing.
I mean, all joking aside, it's possible in 10 years this will be something like this that's actually works really, that's easier. This is probably every time this breaks, you're gonna know how to fix it.
Well, I will tell you, I know you were concerned about this, Tom, but they have said that guacamole is a compatible material, so fear no more. Your dreams have been granted, Tom.
And then guacamole, how do I clean it before I put the chocolate through it? I mean,
clean. No. Chocolate covered guacamole doily. That's all I need to say to you. Chocolate covered guacamole doily.
There's a little piece. If there's a little bit of left of the guacamole when you put the chocolate in, you just run it for a little bit, and then you just clean that out. You take that, you mash that up, you put it in your your food scanner. Put it in the food packs.
Right.
All right. Let's go to picks of the week. I'm going to go first this time. So I did that review of the table and everything, and I like the table, but I'm gonna specifically, I'm picking the last one we talked about, actually.
That's a good one.
Kabuto Sumo, because a lot of it has to do with the fact that I just like board game tables and the stuff they do. But I think my kids and I would like this, and I love how every wrestler has their own special piece. So this is it for me. It's also doing really well for such a tiny game.
Yeah.
That's Who's next?
All right, see what you got.
This is a good one, and I actually I like I said, sort of went back and forth on that Raid game. I like the way that one looks, but I don't know about that game. Like, I don't know if the game's going to be good. And I just like the way that table looks, so I think I am going to go with that Rasguer's modular table.
Is this your way of saying you want it?
I want it. I like the idea of it all.
We're going to come and find a table stolen from the studio.
That's right.
I'll leave a trail of the attachments leading all the way to me. I just like the way that it all sort of is so very modular. There is tons of ways you can arrange things and give yourself an extra large space here, and I can plop an iPad there and have a little rolling area and then split that for somebody else to do something on the other end of the table. I like that stuff, I haven't messed with it, like I said, so I don't know. But looking at their video is awesome, by the way. I love the video.
Yeah, video's great.
And just everything they were able to show off there. I'm sure it's not cheap because there's so many pieces, everything they showed, if you get it all. Yeah. But man, I like the look of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mike, what about you?
All right, well, make no mistake that were it eligible, the 3D guacamole printer would be my pick of the week, but it's not. So, I was considering the Raid game, also Z, and I also thought about that Usurper game. But Tom, I'm going with you. I'm going with Kabuto Sumo. That's the one that I was most interested in after looking through all these. I like the look of it. So, yeah, this is a game that I would definitely like to check out.
All right. Nice. Well, that's it, folks. Crowdsurfing. Maybe there'll be cool games next. But you know what? Even though not all these are winners, I would kind of almost hope that they're not all amazing games every week, because who can afford to get them all?
Oh, yeah.
This is true.
We're saving you money.
And we're showing you things that if we say, oh, we don't like the look, and you like the look, then, hey, look into it yourself. We're barely scratching the surface. Please, it's about making you aware these are out there first, and then telling you what we think, okay? Go dig into it. If you like the Librarians and you want to see the card game about it, go check out the card game about it. Mm-hmm. But if you back it, we are not friends.
All right. I'm kidding. My word. All righty, folks. Thanks so much for watching. This is the last live thing of today, I think. So we'll see you tomorrow morning for Board Game Breakfast. Come find out the news and watch Mr. Bonacor go head-to-head with Z Garcia.
Whoa.
Sure. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thank you.
And I'm Mike Delisio.
Have fun 3D printing food.
Yeah.
Mm.